said.
Okay, if everyone would join me in the pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And roll call. Larry?
Here.
Ronnie? Jeannie? Here. Joey? Herb?
Here.
Reading of the minutes for the regular town board meeting, date June 11th, 2012, time 7 p.m. at the Altona Town Hall, Altona, New York. Supervisor Ross called the meeting to order. Pledge of allegiance and board members present. Supervisor Larry Ross, council members Jeannie Bushy, Joey Snide, Herbert Terrian, Ronnie Lavarge. Others present, Deputy Supervisor Ellen Montgomery, Highway Superintendent Fred Terrian. Minutes of the May 14th, 2012 meeting were read and accepted. Motion by Joey, seconded by Ronnie, the vote for all ayes. The 2012 tandem axle international dump truck with snowplow equipment and multi-purpose dump spreader body has been delivered for the total cost of $188,632. The amount of $160,000 from the approved general type highway equipment capital reserve fund, and the balance of $28,682 from the general fund. Resolution number 43, Code of Ethics. Motion by Herb, seconded by Ronnie. A Code of Ethics has been accepted by the board. This Code of Ethics shall supersede any prior Town of Altona Code of Ethics. Copies will be made and handed out to all persons employed or serving the town, whether paid or unpaid, in any capacity. Resolution number 44, Sandbid. Motion by Joey, seconded by Ronnie. Fred Terrian, Highway Superintendent, is authorized by the board to advertise for 5,000 yards of screened road sand for the 2012-2013 winter season. Bids will be opened at the July 2012 regular town board meeting. Road salt has been ordered under Clinton County contract with the North American Salt Company for the 2012-2013 snow and ice season at $63.20 per ton. A fuel adjustment is added or deducted based on the posted prices as of delivery date. Resolution number 45, approval of bills. Motion by Joey, seconded by Jeannie. The motion was adopted. To pay the bills as presented. General fund, $35,638.30. Highway fund, $12,876.95. Streetlight District Number 1, $821.60. Streetlight District Number 21, $163.18. Total $49,500.03. Vote all ayes. Motion to adjourn by Joey, seconded by Ronnie. Vote all ayes. Respectfully submitted, Carol Relation, Town Clerk.
Motion on the minutes.
Make the motion to accept the minutes as read.
I'll second it.
Okay, the first thing on the agenda would be the highway bids for sand. Did we get it? We did at least one. That's the only one.
Yes.
Bid on screen road sand, Town of Altona. Screen sand loaded on town trucks by Beeman is $5.48 per cubic yard. In the pit, less than 10 miles away, sand is I don't know what that says. Available, I think that's what it is. Goes up, also Beeman. And this is the report on it, distribution report. 5.48 per cubic yard. I don't know what we were last year, were we 5?
We're less than that, were we?
395, I think, last year.
395? I thought I saw someplace it was 5, or maybe
Last year's bid was it?
Last year was just under 4.
Yeah,
Yeah.
3 million.
Well, we have the right to accept or reject all bids. Is this what you want? You want to go with this or you want to?
We don't have anyone else.
It's pretty steep for you. That's quite a jump. I don't know. Is that acceptable?
It's hard to actually do it for much less money than that. If you had your own truck doing that, it might be quite a jump, but I think last year it cost them to make it.
Is that right?
That's my true feeling of it, so.
Well, we'll have a motion on the same.
I'll make a motion that we accept it as written.
No. Read vote, please. Herb?
Yes.
Jeannie? Yes. Larry?
Yes. Okay. Contracts for snow and ice, did you get a chance to look at them, Fred, or you talked to were you in on the meetings with the snow and ice contract for the county? I talked to Vicky, he said that this was what they all agreed on, and it's, stays the same this year, and then it goes up 3% and 3% for the town of Altona. I don't know about everybody else, but I just figured it up for us, and it was 0 this year and then 3 and 3. But the rest of it remained the same. And I guess they recommended it, so what do you wanna go ahead with it, or?
Yeah, they said they're all going with it.
That's what he's told me anyway, so. So I'll hear a motion on county highway contract for snow and ice.
I'll make a motion that we accept the contract as read.
Second.
Can a vote, please, Larry?
Yes.
Jeannie?
Yes.
Herb?
Yes.
I don't know if you need these or not. School bus turnaround, a few things we're still looking for. We never got to measure that yet, huh, Fred? We've got all the information that they wanted us to have, except for the fact that we gotta measure it for him. He didn't know how to measure. I've got a rangefinder that would make it quick. We go stand one spot, and the other we just shoot it. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
And
Okay.
we can get it measured quickly that way. And then, according to what Joe's dug up here, we need to have the school accept that as a bus turnaround. And according to section 3635 of the education law.
I think they've done that. I saw some
You think
a
they did
letter
that?
to you, I recall, where they essentially designated that area as a bus turnaround
Okay, and then,
in accordance with the education.
then all we have to do is measure it and then.
Well, but they still, the other step, part of that, they need to enter into an agreement with the landowner to allow for the plowing,
But even
the
if they're turning,
utilization.
he's turning that over to us, so it'd be town property at that point anyways.
Yeah, if that's the case,
Yeah.
right.
So it would, they
That's
would.
right. But I mean, we were talking about doing it the other way.
Yeah. So I think we have everything we need, we just measure that.
Okay,
And,
just measure.
and I'll talk to the town, make sure they've got it designated, and then we'll send you the paperwork for it, and go from there. I think we have everything we need now. Got the deed and all that stuff. Our copier, the contract is up in August on our copiers. And our big copier has never given us any trouble. It's 5 years old, but they've never done anything to it, to my knowledge. They recommended that we trade both and get this other one that matches what we have, but I really can't see doing that without any problem, because we're so tied into that big one that we have now. It does everything. You know, everybody's used to it, and I hate to see it go, because then you gotta learn a whole new system again. Our small one, however, or the other one that's out in the hall, that's the oldest one out in that little room. That's the one the public uses, and that is old enough now so they don't make parts anymore. So we've got to do something else with that. And that does give us trouble, so. They have one that does everything that did. I think they said it was $1,002 or something like that on a state contract special. I think we'd be best off to, it's RICOH MP 171 is what they call it. And they would, if we bought that, they would give us $145 a year would be our maintenance agreement on that one. And $515.50 for the big one. That does 25,000 copies. Anything over that, like the big one is 2 cents a copy, and the smaller one would be, well, if we get that one, it's less than 1 cent a copy. So I guess we're not out anything by saying we'll go 12,000 or 10,000 prints on the smaller one, because it isn't that much if we're go over, like say we went 12,000 copies to the 10, it only costs us $29 more, so. I think what we should do, and of course it's up for negotiations here, discussion, I should say, I think we should try to keep the big one and buy the smaller one for the public to use. Is that?
Is this a new, I'm sorry, is this a new machine?
Yes, oh, I don't want that. They had one, they wanted to rebuild one, I didn't want anything to do with that. They talked other options, leasing and stuff like that, I'm not interested in that. I just soon just get it and have it under the agreement. I think, with the new machine and under this agreement, we'll save $200 or $300 on our maintenance agreement anyway, so it'll help pay for the difference, so. Like I said, their recommendations, I recommend you trade both systems for the new Konica Minolta BizHub supervisor's office and a refurbished MP 161 for the other system. To me, if you get a refurbished one, then pretty soon that one's going to be out of parts. So I couldn't see that. The overall cost of everything, if we got rid of both of them and went with the way he wanted it, was $4,633.95, and then you had to pay the maintenance, of course, after that.
The big one still works good, doesn't give us problems.
We never had trouble with that.
How old is that, Larry?
That's 5.
Just 5?
Just turned 5 years old in August, so we should be good for, I would say, another 9 innings of that
Is
one.
it a digital or an analog? The new,
It's, I think it's digital, yeah, it is digital, isn't it, Alan? I think it is.
I always use the other one.
Right. Digital.
that's the
It just, no, it's just that its own little copy room, and you don't bother anybody, so.
You should see Danielle now does everything over that, the printing, everything goes through that one copy or so.
You can email, you can receive.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
you can scan on
Yeah.
it.
Faxes,
Yeah.
everything, you know,
So if you have a lot of people in there, that would kind of mess up the whole works in there. So I think we do need some small one, that's not too bad a price on, it's not special anyway. So that's my recommendation, I don't know if you
Okay.
wanna.
I'm all for it, I mean, if we need it, we need it. The public uses it a lot, so
Yeah,
it's not like it's just being used for it.
a lot of people go in and
Sorry.
So,
Need a motion?
yeah,
Make a motion, we accept it as read.
that's not the refurbish thing.
In a second,
I'll
please.
second it.
You're talking about the RICO?
Yeah.
It's $1,000,
Yeah, yes,
Yeah.
2002.
$2.
That's what he told me. I wanna make sure that didn't change, because that was given to me before the month was over last month, so if it didn't change.
Is it here, Larry?
I got- here's the website. Here's what it looks like there, right there.
This is what it is. Rico 171.
Oh, they have all these
This is-
different
this is the
options,
one.
it's hard to pick what you need here.
There's no dollars on it.
So 171's a new one, this 160 was a refurbished one, so.
There's a 600 is the one in this. That's his proposal, but that must be the refurbished,
Yeah.
small.
Right here's where it says, he's got it as numbers,
Oh,
dollars.
there it is.
$1,002 is what he told me. See if we got it here.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's in
covered.
Yeah. I'll copy these and give them back to you.
Okay. So we need to vote on those.
Yeah, we got a motion and a second, and a vote. Herb?
Yes.
Jeannie?
Yes.
Larry?
Yes. Okay, animal shelter, we moved to Moore's this year as a first trial basis thing. Unfortunately, they had problems. Their dog catcher now, or dog control officer has changed in, the new girl's taken over, Kaylee LeBon, her name is, in the Boas Road. And she's been inspected, so she's still okay as a shelter. But just to let you know, the Todd Frett was the other one, and he's moved on to something else, I guess. I don't know what's going on with dogs, because we've already taken 15 dogs in there. I don't know where we're getting all the excess dogs all of a sudden this year. It just seems to be a lot more than ever before, so. I hate to beat up on the town that's struggling over there, because they're just getting used to it. But maybe they'd be all right. It seems like every time they bring one over, it has 7 puppies. I don't know what the deal is.
Are they stray dogs? Just stray
Yeah,
dogs?
just dogs are picking up. I don't know where they're all coming from. We never had that many before. So it's, they're limping through it over there, having a hard time with it though, so I don't know what to think of it. But anyways, that's what's happened there. We still have a place to go, but under new management, I should say. We got our lights for the hall and for the garage, and we started, and Herbie helped me put 6 of them in a couple of the offices there. So we're working at it. We have them here anyways, and they're really nice when they get put up. Actually, they're really a lot brighter. So just let you know they're here and being worked on. Number 7, Feinberg Park. The septic still, we aren't finished covering it up. It's all in, everything seems to have worked through the big holidays and everything, so that's a plus. There's still quite a mess there to fill over the pipes. Some of the pipes in the back, we gotta build up to the pipe and then fill over it, kind of thing. It's hard. I mean, everybody's so busy. The guys are out on the road and stuff, and I haven't been able to get up there. I hired a part-timer up there, and he's working as best he can, but it's hard. I asked a contractor to go look at it and give me an idea. He said between $1,200 and $1,500 he would take it on and do it. with us furnishing the materials. I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but it's an option. What do you think about it, Fred?
I think it's worth it, you know, do that for 1,500, go finish that off and be done with it.
Plan it, he'd plan it, he's really good when he does his work, I know he's real picky. I'd really like to take my part-timer down here and help me with the lights and with the roof, because it just seems like we keep getting farther behind on stuff, he can't catch up. I don't know if the town wants to hire somebody to go in there or not, it's up to you guys.
You know, you need to get it finished.
Well,
You
I'm
probably
afraid-
actually gain money by it, because we get more sites out, right?
Well, we're full.
You're full now.
Yeah, we're full, but the only thing I worry about, I mean, you're up there, you're camping, and if you trip and fall over that stuff, you know, it's a lot better than it was, no question, but there's still messes out through in the middle there, and if they stumble over that and fall down, we could be liable.
It'd be a lot better to get it done.
Yeah.
Any motion on it?
He would plan it and do the whole works, he said, on there, so, it's A to Z construction.
A to Z.
Yeah. I've had him, he's one that did the rock wall around my, up by my garage there, he does a nice job. And being that it's not, I haven't been able to get anybody else in there, so, you know.
Sure. So will we have to bring the fill to them, or will they pick it up?
We bring it right to him, the way Fred's been doing it, he
Yeah, I
just,
don't think he needs a whole lot more in there,
maybe not, I don't even know. He's got. a
just
lot
to
of-
get it over there, get it over the pipe.
Yeah, he was gonna rent his own, with that price, he's gonna rent his own mini excavator, I think, to go right in there, so he could drive right in with it, so. That's what he said anyways, and I think he has a planner and the whole works, so. It's up to you guys, if you wanna hire him, we'll get a hold of him, if not, we'll limp away the way we are.
I make a motion to hire him and get the job done.
In an amount not to exceed $1,500.
1,500.
And that's the completion of what, the landscaping?
Yeah, you plant it and the whole works, so there'll be grass on it, finally, instead of weeds.
A second, please,
Yeah, I'll second it.
and a vote. Larry?
Yes.
Jeannie?
Yes.
Herb?
Yes.
Signs for the swimming up there. We can't open the swimming to the public because of, everything's washed away, the beach is gone, the signs are gone, the ropes are gone, everything else, so. But being it's a campsite, if you don't open it to public, you don't need lifeguards, and they can swim at their own risk, but you have to have signs. So I started trying to make them off the ones we had, and I messed up the first one. I put the paint on a paper plate, and I put it on the center of the sign, a white background, and red paint, and the thing, I ate the plate out, so it's all red. I said, this is a good start. So I had this girl that did the signs for the funeral home, and she has a company that makes signs, so I called her up to see how much they'd be. And I read, I mean, there's paragraphs you gotta write on this thing, it's crazy. And I said, well, all that writing, I'd have been doing it all summer, so today I called her, I said, you ever give me the price on those? Yeah, I'll call you right back. And she'd do all those 4 signs for $50. I said, well, it cost me more aggravation than that the first day, so. Yeah, but it's that corrugated plastic that you saw in some of the signs that go around. And it's pretty durable stuff, and I think that would do the trick, so. I said, well, if you're gonna do it for 50, I got 2 more signs for you to make, the 2 I messed up, so.
Is she using real ink on the side?
I don't know how she can do it that cheap.
If it rains, it's gone, huh?
Yeah, I worried 2 or 3 days and then ruined them as it was. I said, well, below $50. So I just soon hire her to do them. It's 50 for those and 8 to 10 for the other 2. So, and she'll have them done Wednesday if we want her to do them.
So, what's her name? It's not to exceed $70.
JP Enterprises, I think is what, JP Enterprises, and it's 50, not to exceed 70 plus tax, I guess, because it'd be tax on it.
No.
No.
Oh, not for the town, right,
Yeah.
right.
So how many signs is she doing here?
Well,
He's
there's 4 signs and she's combined them, all those 4 into one. That's all the rules of what they have to do.
Okay,
And then there's a no swimming, and then there's a swim at your own risk. No swimming has to go up by the gate. Swim at your own risk goes up by the, and, oh man, I gotta have one more, you better make that $10 more than that, cause I gotta have one for operating hours. So,
not to exceed 80.
the operating hours have to be on there. They got rules where they have to be, adults there, responsible for the safety of whoever else is there that's not adult, and I know, it's all rules by the state.
Required
Yeah,
signs.
requirements by the state, so. I thought we were gonna save lots of money by me doing them, but I'd probably get them done by next year if they weren't gonna be so nice as the ones they're gonna make. So we need a vote on those too.
Oh, yeah, I wrote down the information.
Somebody wanna make a motion?
Yeah, Herb,
That's it.
There we go. Herb?
Yes.
Jeannie,
Yes.
Larry,
yes. They had the park is pretty much full, in the, they had the pavilion rented, I think they said they're supposed to have 80 people in there over the weekend. And then with the tournament they had up there, that was full, it really was exciting this weekend up there to see all the commotion, I like that.
Yeah, it was full.
And that was a nice tournament, well run, very well run, I thought.
They won.
Yeah, and Altona won, right?
Yeah, that's the first time that was
Yeah,
nice. Yeah, the kids enjoyed it.
I was only there for a little while switching tables around and stuff, but one kid from Ellenberg hit one from that other, one by the woods there all the way to the road. I said, holy smokes, there are little kids up there. I couldn't believe he hit that ball that hard, but they had a slugfest, I guess, between Ellenberg and Altona. That was pretty neat.
It was good.
It was exciting. But very well run.
Before we get out the park too, are we done with the park?
Well, yeah, go ahead.
Well, I think Jody and Terry had some questions about the skating ring up there.
Oh,
She brought that up with me.
Sure.
at the
well,
start.
we were just wondering about the ice rink.
Me too.
Only because
So-
there was a letter sent around several years ago asking for donations. We sent donations.
Yeah, and I know, I talked to Mr. Labarge with the Youth Commission, and they had a good start on it, and then, I don't know what happened, all of a sudden, it came to a screeching halt for some reason. They said they had to change the poles, and I don't know, I got the liner already bought and paid for. And to my knowledge, Mr. Beach has the money holding from the fire department,
Yeah.
but I haven't heard any more of anybody doing anything. You know, I asked Jamie, and they're supposed to be getting together, but I said, if it doesn't go this summer, you might just well sell the liner and forget about it, bulldoze
Right,
it,
clean
because
up
it's
the
just an
mess.
eyesore is all it is
Yeah,
right now.
exactly.
So, it's frustrating because we've been pushing, and I know they're frustrated too, because they seem to, once they get ready to go, then they don't have any help, then they have a lot of help, and it's no materials, I don't know what the problem is, but now it's blown down on one side or something,
Yes.
so it's bad, I don't know.
I need to get a committee. I have a committee that wants it, get involved in it.
They do have a committee, but
I do.
I don't know what's happened. If they're all too busy, I'll talk to Jamie this week and see if they're gonna do any more with it. If not, I just soon see them clean it back up and forget it.
They don't have enough people committed to
But-
see that project through,
But
and then to maintain it.
Mindy brought enough people there to do the whole thing at one time, and then I don't know what happened. You know, they did all kinds of work. And then, one thing I worry about is the maintenance. It's not just spray water on there, it's good for the winter. You have to spray it every time, you know, every other, I don't know. They said, like if they skate on it a lot, you gotta spray it again and you gotta smooth it out. I don't know that much about it, but it sounded like a lot of maintenance. And, I'm just wondering how that'll work. They were all gung ho there at one time, and I thought it was gonna go pretty well, and then it all came to a screeching halt, and I don't know what happened. But I'll check with Mr. Large this week and see if we can find out where they are about it, see if we can get it fired back up or cleaned up, one or the other.
Yeah.
get it out there. Did you have anything else for us?
No, we're just,
Good, glad you came. But, yeah, that's a good point, and I hear it all the time from my wife too. She's, what are you gonna do with that thing? But, so far, nothing. We'll see what we can do. Where am I here, Lee? On the Burnell Road, did you ever get children at play signs, Fred, for that lady?
Well, when I get there, maybe we'll go pick them up.
Or they at the county?
Yeah.
Okay. So she'd asked for that. We've had 2 or 3 complaints. I've tried to get the state troopers to make that a path to go through that Burnell Road because they do drive so fast down through there apparently. Because I've had more, and there's not just one person complaining. And I asked the county sheriff if they could get down there. But I don't know how many times they've been down there, but we'll try to push it and get more.
You couldn't get a cop anywhere near our area. They're too busy.
They keep telling me they're gonna.
Too busy with drunk drivers.
Even if they just, well, probably they'd catch them right there, coming down the back street.
Believe me, I called one.
Well, I've asked them, I've point blank asked them to make that one of their regular, just pass through, you know, and try to straighten that out a little bit.
They drive terrible down there.
Yeah. Well, we are working on that. And,
I mean, you can't even, you gotta be careful pulling out of Old State Road. Good thing you guys cut all the trees and all the bushes, because if you put your nose out there, you don't know who's gonna whack you.
yeah. Well, I'll get after the state troopers again. Bruce Warren told me he would go down in there.
Well, he's too busy sitting up here setting up radar, you know what I mean? Gotta have radar first.
Well, we'll see what we can do anyways. I haven't forgotten that road. It's just a matter of, we gotta finish getting the signs made from the county, and we'll get those up, the children at play. We can't put speed limit signs, they won't, they aren't allowed to do that. But we can get children at play signs, and also if I can get, some police protection up in there for a while, maybe that'll straighten it up. Office of real property, we got the papers for when they're at 100% again this year. And that seems to be right up to par. So we're good there, just for your information. Sidewalks, had the guy a contractor walk with me to try to find out how to get these out to bid the right way. And he recommended, he went with me, we measured it, there's about 2,200 feet that need to be done on the opposite side, on the same side as the post office, from the park down to the church. So what he recommended is put 2,200 feet of sidewalk repair, pre-bid meeting, walk through on, and give them a date, and walk through with the contractors that are interested, so that they're all bidding on the same thing. I don't think we're gonna be able to afford 2,200 feet, but if we can find out how much it is per foot, we probably can, you know, make them do what we have money for. Maybe I should say up to 2,200 feet. So I'd like to put that in the paper this time. I know we put it out to bid before, and it wasn't done the way they wanted it apparently, so we'll put this out. I'll have to come up with a date. I can't even give you one right now that I could be here to go through it with them. But is it all right to put that in the paper that way and try to bid on it from there? If you can ever get any sidewalks done.
Is he going to develop any bid specifications?
We'll do that after, yeah, we'll have some, but they'll be at our office, so when they come in, they'll see what they have. And I'm gonna have them help me come up with it.
But you need to do those before you put it in the newspaper, I would say.
So we'll have,
Bid specifications.
the guy that walked it with me said that he would help me get specs written the way they have to have them, so. Maybe we can get some done here eventually, geez. It's been a nightmare trying to get sidewalks. I think the last sidewalks we had, the guys did, and they're so busy now, there's no way they can even think about sidewalks. So it's in the works, and we'll see. I also have had several contractors look at the powerhouse to fix the outside so it wouldn't leak. And most of them have no comment. I got one willing to work on it, and he hasn't given me a price yet. That's Gilbert Rabdo. And hopefully he'll get back. I know he was real busy. He's gonna be back. And what it looks like, they gotta put the facing of that stuff on the, I don't know if you'd call it siding, it's stones and cement that they had on there fell off. And then up wherever the top curves down like that, it's come down away from that. So he needs to repoint that and stuff. But he went up and looked at it with me. We got out on the roof and looked it over. And I think it'd be something I can hire him for materials and time. That's what you were telling
Sure.
me, right? Because it's too hard to tell what you need. You can't till you get into it. It's such an old building. I don't know what to think of it. But I've got, like I said, 2 or 3 other contractors that refused to do it. They didn't like heights. One of them didn't like heights, and I don't know. It's kind of a difficult thing because you got to get staging up in there and stuff. It's quite a project, but that's in the works also. I was hoping it'd wash away, but I guess it's not going to, so we got to work on it. I don't know if this pertains to us. A lifeline, do you have lifeline around your Alan?
The Red Cross has a lifeline, and telephone companies have a lifeline, people who are low income.
That's what
They
this
get,
is about here,
Is that for the telephone, for the
Yeah.
telephone companies, or is that for Lifeline itself?
yeah. This is, it's for the telephone companies. And what they're trying to tell us is they're going to, as a part of the recertification process, a lifeline service provider may ask for, they're gonna call people that are on this. They're gonna ask for their name, full name, residential and billing address, subscriber's date of birth, last 4 digits of social security number, and how they meet the eligibility requirements for Lifeline.
Right, there's an income eligibility, which is kind of parallel to the HEAT program. If they're eligible for HEAT or lower, they're eligible for Lifeline if they're seniors.
Well, they're gonna be getting asked all those questions, and I
Yeah.
didn't know how to get the information to them, so they would be all nerved up when they
It's
started.
been in the newspaper,
It has?
yeah.
Well, so if you hear of anybody that's,
Tell them to call me.
that gets all nerved up about it, that's legit, they are gonna ask that stuff.
It's a good thing, is they shouldn't be giving their social security numbers to anybody who calls on the phone.
I would be afraid to.
Yeah.
But this is from State of New York Department of Public Service,
Right.
and they're just trying to let us know that that's gonna take place.
But there are several different Lifeline things. The Red Cross operates a Lifeline, and that's a pay, I think it's $30 a month, and then there's some independent Lifeline contractors too that offer the same service, where they wear the little thing and they call and they will call the fire department or the responders.
This one is for the
It's for their own telephone. Yeah.
telephone program, yeah?
Yeah,
Okay, so,
and that's not the one where it calls, that's just a reduction in the charge.
yeah.
I think like the Champlain Telephone Company, it's around $5 a month. Less on their telephone
They got a
bill.
phone number, I'll give you this, you maybe already have it. or not.
I think I got a copy of
Okay,
it, yeah.
because they'll probably call you, and as soon as somebody starts asking them stuff, they're gonna get all nerved
Yeah.
up probably. All right, I already talked to you about that pitless adapter, so that's all done. Other program that we started looking into, I gotta get online, I guess, I didn't get very good information when I talked to them on the phone. They don't seem to understand that flood insurance guide thing. If there's a website here, I'll try the website. I got a little frustrated with them. It's a national organization, they're talking different, a higher level than the town. They don't seem to be talking town level, so I'll see if I can get any more information off the website there. What else we got here? Basically, anybody have anything for the board?
Good.
Second.
No vote, please. Jeannie?
Yes.
Larry?
Yes.
Herb?
Yes.
And the bills.
Make a motion to pay the bills as presented.
And a second?
Yes.
And a vote. Jeannie?
Yes.
Larry?
Yes.
Herb?
Yes.
The parade went off really well. It was, turned out really nice, so. And hopefully by next month, we'll have some progress made on some of these projects, my God. Now, I'm gonna try to take my part-timer and putting that stuff on the roof and the wall out there, and also helping me on these lights in here. So, maybe we'll get 2 jobs done that way. If there's nothing else, I'll entertain a motion to close. Sure.
And a second?
Second.
No vote, please.
All in favor? Thanks for coming, folks. See if we can come up with anything on escape. I'll try to get.
I'm just curious.
But a lot of people are in town, I mean, you see it there, and it only gets looking worse and worse, and then you put a little bit of work in it, and then it goes the other way.
I know it's hard to get help and it's hard to get people together and I just didn't know.
Yeah.
We were just talking about a